Hello and welcome back to SGTV. I'm joined once again by Joe, the Tradesman Coach. Joe is quickly blowing up on social media as a influential body coach, transforming some of the tradesmen and women up and down the country into performance-enhanced machines. But he's got some really incredible success stories going on with the business that you're doing. So for those who haven't seen the first episode, Joe, do you mind just telling us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so a little bit of a introduction. Used to be an electrician, transitioned, kind of fell into the fitness industry, and I'm now full-time online fitness coach, helping tradesmen and women all over, obviously, the country and some worldwide as well, and get into shape physically, mentally, boost their energy, boost their motivation, and just go from doom and gloom, living at service stations, struggling for time, struggling for energy, to completely flipping that mindset, flipping that body, and I guess living life on their own terms rather than on the customer's terms.
Yeah, and you've probably just hit a nerve with quite a lot of people there thinking, yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen it, I've seen it. You go onto sites and people, not everyone, but a lot of people are not necessarily living in a healthy way that is gonna be, it's not sustainable long term.
No, you only have to drive down the road in the morning, you see vans queuing outside Greggs and McDonald's, and people live that way. And some of the people I speak to, they're spending £5 up to £20 a day buying food, and then you ask them how they feel, and they're like, I've got no energy, I've got no time, like I feel groggy all the time. It's like, that's why.
Yeah, and that's what we want to mainly dive into today. We're calling this episode that your health is your income, because as you say, we're seeing people that are not in the best of shape, and it will catch up with you at some point. It's fine that everything with moderation is my opinion, but you're not seeing everything in moderation on a lot of sites. You're seeing excess and just unsustainable way of living, and it's going to catch up to the point where if you're laden with an illness or an injury or whatever, you're not earning. Is that something that you've seen firsthand on sites and your sort of clientele?
Yeah, we have actually had people come to us with health scares and stuff like that, where they've kind of neglected their health and their fitness for so long that they then get that call from the doctors or whatever it might be, and do you know what I mean? They've got to take action, and usually by that point it's too late. So I guess we're trying to drill in that message. Like you've said, your health is your income. The way I talk about it is health is wealth. If you haven't got your health, you can't go to work, you can't pay the bills, you can't be your dad to your little boy, your little girl, you can't be the husband to your wife, you're not the business owner, you're not the dad, do you know what I mean? They all fall into one. So yeah, I think if you prioritise your health, prioritise your fitness, not only is your business going to do well, do you know what I mean, but your family life, your friends, your kids. I think it all falls into one category. Yeah. Some people think it's just about looking good, but there's so much more to it than, do you know what I mean, just looking all right.
Absolutely. What sort of illnesses and things are you seeing mainly on these kind of sites that you've been on?
I think the biggest one is high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. I think they're the biggest ones. And
you throw in the stress of being in the trade as well. That's a bit of a recipe for disaster if you're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, mental health is a massive thing nowadays. Like, everyone's talking about mental health. And again, that not necessarily comes from fitness, but by neglecting your health, it all stems. And I do believe fitness is one of the best things you can do, again, for a clear body, clear mind, stuff like that as well. But yeah, I think the high blood pressure, high cholesterol from neglecting the health, eating crap all the time and not moving enough, a lot of people. And like I say, stress as well, physical stress, mental stress, all adds up. And
it's a physical job, isn't it? Not necessarily just being an electrician. I'm hearing waves of brickies and plumbers saying, oh, electricians don't do anything. But yeah. I mean, the trades, they are physically demanding jobs, whether it's laying bricks, pulling armoured cable through. I mean, surely even if you are in good health, but you just wanted to be able to do your basic job, enhancing your fitness with this kind of thing is going to be of some benefit.
Yeah, well, you've got to think about it. If you're fitter, you're more productive, you can do more. Like if you've got more energy or you're stronger. Yeah, I always say, you know what I mean, if you can work less and earn more, that's the dream, especially for every self-employed person out there. I know it used to be for me. Like if you could work less hours, have more free time with your friends and family, your kids, and earn just as much because you're getting more done. Like most people, you know what I mean, get to 3 o'clock and they hit a wall and they can't do anymore. So if you can drive past that and finish at 3 o'clock, I don't know, or even work an extra 2 hours and actually do the work rather than nip into the shops for...
It's investment in yourself, isn't it?
Coffee to get through the afternoon, then yeah. Catch 22.
If you're on the trades, you're more than happy to invest in new tools, new kit. you are your tools and kit at the end of the day. If you're not investing in yourself, in your health, then, as you say, you're going to fall short at some point.
Yeah, massively. And like I say, it's investing in yourself, investing into your health. Health is wealth. Without your health, there is nothing. And like I say, it's usually before it's too late or when it's too late that people realise. So it's just trying to drill into people that do
What about sort of like injury recovery? Like they call it active recovery, don't they? If you're on site, you're gonna fall over, you're gonna hurt yourself. It's inevitable at some point. Especially, health and safety and all that now, but injuries happen. So are you finding that you're getting a lot of people that have suffered injuries where you can actually help them through coaching?
Yeah, I think the most common ones we get is like niggles, aches and pains, bad backs, plasterers, electricians, painters, shoulders, stuff like that. So we've helped a lot of people with like back pain, especially like a lot of people as well will come to us. They get niggles in their knees, in their ankles because they're overweight and they know it's the excess weight that's kind of causing it. So yeah, by losing weight or by doing mobility recovery, stretching, just moving more, like strength training, you see older people, they advise older people to lift weights. You know what I mean? Not to build muscle, but to increase your strength so you're not falling over all the time. So it's exactly the same.
Have you had any success stories where you've gone out on site, potentially saw people with bad health or injuries, and through a bit of coaching and exercise, their lives have improved?
Yeah, massively. So we have helped over 500 people now in the last 2 years, which blows my mind. And I've set myself a big target. I want to tip that over to 1,000 this year. So I want to like double our numbers this year of people we've helped. But we've had people, like I say, come from running 500 metres to running Ironman or running ultra marathons. Some people losing 6.5 stone. I just finished with a client. He's just kind of now doing his own thing, but he's been with me over a year and a half, and he's lost 6.5 stone.
Wow.
And looking at where he started to where he is now is like mad, and how his life has changed. Like I say, he doesn't just look better. I mean, he looks pretty sick, to be honest. Yeah. Pretty jealous, but doesn't just look better. Like every part of his life is 100% better.
What do you think is holding people back if they're feeling reserved about doing this kind of thing?
I think it's mindset, the most common thing, because tradesmen have a trait of taking mickey out of each other and taking, like I've been there and done it, take your meals for lunch and the blokes are taking the mick because you're not having a burger on a Friday or fish and chips. And I think it's worrying too much what other people say. And I always say, at first they laugh, then they ask questions how you done it, and then they ask you for help. That's exactly what happens to me. People laugh when I first started my fitness journey, and then they ask how you done it, and then they're asking you for help to do it for them. So
when you're the one getting wolf whistled on site and you're not the one doing it to people on the street, that's when they might think otherwise.
Yeah.
So what services do you offer then? You've mentioned that you do this online platform, but tell us a bit about what you do from start to finish. If someone was thinking, I'm in that boat, I'm probably not looking after my health, I'm at Greg's, I'm at McDonald's, I need to be looking after myself for my family who I need to feed and support. What sort of services could they gain from something like what you're doing? Yeah,
of course. So we tailor nutrition plans, which in terms of nutrition, like some people will want a full plan. Some people work on the road all the time, some people work away, so we kind of tailor it around what they need. Are they working away? Are they working in hotels? Do they want to prep the meals? Training plans, are they training at home? Are they training at the gym? Do they even want to train? Supplementation guidance, we'll give them supplementation guidance. They get access to our app where they track everything, they get accountability, they get a one-to-one coach, and very, very soon we're actually launching, I don't know when this episode is going to be released, but we're launching a sort of more of a community aspect where it's going to be more like a membership where they get all the meal plans, the training plans, but it's more of a community. So although you get a one-to-one side of things, everyone's kind of in it together and on that own journey. But yeah, we literally tailor it around somebody's life. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating. We literally do tailor it around your life. So if you say I've got 5 kids and I can't do exercise, I've got a bad knee, like we tailor it around that. So
what about if people are watching this thinking, I ain't got time, I ain't got money, or at least at this point I can't, but I need to do something. Are there, even if they've got 5 minutes, and what could they do? Like meal prepping, like squats in the break room, little things, what could they be doing?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer that everybody should meal prep or plan ahead. Like a lot of people say, I haven't got time to meal prep, and then it's like, what are you doing on Sunday? I sit down and watch the football for 2 hours. You could have cooked your meals for 40 minutes. But I think everyone should prepare. You don't turn up on site on a Monday morning without any bricks ordered, do you? So it's you need to be preparing. But again, in terms of exercise, you can do press-ups at home, you can do bodyweight squats in the garden. We offer like home workout plans where people don't have any equipment and they'll just know what I mean, do stuff at home with the kids. With people saying, oh, I was doing press ups and my little boy wanted to join in. He was jumping all over my back and I was trying to extra weight. So there literally is no excuses. Like everyone can do something, and I think something is always better than nothing.
And you've got to sacrifice something at some point. And like we've talked about, your health is your number one asset. And if you can't find time to look after that because you're doing other things, you probably could shuffle things around, whether it's watching the football, sitting down with Netflix or TikTok or whatever it is that is keeping people preoccupied.
Yeah.
And meal prepping, it sounds. I think when people say meal prepping, they're imagining you there all of Sunday, Gordon Ramsay pots flying and everything like that. An hour, that might be all it takes, and that will take you from having to cook each evening or each morning and setting. It's not really time wasted; it's time invested, isn't it?
Yeah. So a little bit of a backstory. I had a client. He joined, it was about 6 months ago, he was working with me and he used to say, I'm not doing my meal prep and I haven't got time. Like, how are you doing it? I'm cooking every single night. I'm like, why are you cooking every single night? He was spending half an hour every night cooking it. I'm like, you can just cook once a week or twice a week for half an hour. For what you're going to cook a bowl of pasta, you might as well cook 5 bowls of pasta and just chuck it in your tub. So I think it's just knowing the right ways to do things is sometimes just someone saying that one thing, do it this way, try it this way. Because again, what works for you might not work for me. But there's always a way for someone to do it.
Yeah. Do you tailor this just to men? Because, I mean, we're seeing quite a lot of women joining the trade. And so do you tailor anything for women? Yeah,
so we do work with women. We don't really advertise to work with women. Like a lot of, I guess I just attract. Don't know if it's a good thing, but I attract.
You were about to say you just attract men then, weren't you?
I attract the men. I think it's because...
It's because you're so ripped and oiled, mate. That's what it is.
They love it. But... we do work with women, so usually when women join up and sign up with us, it's through like their partners and stuff like that. We recently had a girl join us, or a woman join us, who she helps her husband do like property development and stuff. So she's in the trade. I mean, she's in amongst it. We've worked with female painters and decorators and stuff before. So yeah, we do work with women. We work with primarily 99% of our client base is men, but we do work with women if they need to be helped. They're in the trade and they're prepared to put in the work, then we help people.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about stretching and mobility as well, because not necessarily just for exercising. As we said, being in the trade, whether that's an electrician, a bricky, plasterer, whatever, it is physically demanding.
Yeah.
Would you recommend people are doing a bit of a warm-up before they... It might sound daft, but if it's going to prevent an injury further down the line, would that be something you'd recommend?
What, before going on site, you mean?
Yeah.
If it's going to help them, again, everybody's unique and individual. If somebody's struggling with something in particular, it's like, if you're a footballer and you're going out on the pitch, you know what injuries you could get. So yeah, if you're struggling with something in particular, I think stretching and mobility, I think mobility is a massive thing. Like, because the way the world is going, people will be on site until they're 70, 75 at this rate. So I think the longer you can preserve that for, like we've literally titled it, your health is your income. So if you're not looking after yourself, I mean, you're probably shooting yourself in the foot a little bit.
Yeah. Think about your motivation. I think that's one thing people, that's what they struggle with, is finding their motivation. And whether that's, you just want to look good for your Instagram photos, you want your kids to be proud of you, you want to go and do an Ironman, find something that motivates you and pull on that as far as it will take you.
Yeah, motivation's a big one, because everyone waits for motivation to start. But I'm a big believer in, you start seeing motivation when you start seeing change. Like I might sit here and say, I can't be bothered today, but if tomorrow you're a kilogram down, you start looking better, you start getting the feel for it and the bug. Like wiring a house. Once the first fix is done, you start getting the bug and you're like, yes, I can't wait, second fix. You know what I mean? It's that spiral, you get excited as you start seeing results. So I think, honestly, if I could give one tip today, you're struggling for motivation, the best way to get motivated is to start seeing change. Like once you start, you don't want to stop.
How would you say, what's the best way to start?
Just do it. As simple as it sounds,
really
just do it.
Just
take that first step. Like, to get from A to B, you've got to take a step. And unless you put one foot in front of the other, it's not going to happen. Make a sacrifice. You've got to want to do it. Like most people have a reason why. Like, why do you want to do it? Is it so you can chase around your kids without getting out of breath? Is it so you can work a day on the tools without getting aches and pains in your back, in your knees, in your neck? Whatever your reason why is, again, it's got to be big enough.
Do you think those aches and pains can put people off? Because I would imagine some people who don't have the knowledge that you do about fitness, they might think, well, I can't because my knees, I can't exercise because my knees are knackered or my elbows. But they might not necessarily, there are certain exercises that might actually improve your joints and things like that.
Yeah, 100% there is. Again, until you try something, you don't start. Definition of insanity is doing the same stuff over and over again, but expecting different results. So, if you struggle with knee pain, maybe try something different because what you're doing isn't working. And a little bit off topic as well, not talking about knees, but we actually helped a guy. He was on asthma medication, and I've actually got a message somewhere on my phone where he managed to literally come off his like asthma medication. And likewise, we had someone reverse their diabetes, like type 2 diabetes, which you don't think is possible, but it's mad when people tell you, like, send you a message, thanks for helping me achieve this. Like, it's pretty cool.
Pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
Talking on knees as well, I do want to add, I remember I've got a lot of family in the trade, and my granddad had both knees replaced, one hip, maybe two, I can't remember. And he was always on hard floors, lofts, bare knees, no knee padding. Yeah. Next generation, uncle, always on the floor, always on his knees, no knee problems, wore knee pads for everything. Yeah. Not fitness related, but wear your knee pads, guys and ladies. It will save you down the line.
Yeah, massively.
So what sort of obstacles do you think people are facing when it comes to looking after their health and pursuing fitness?
I think the biggest things I hear from guys who I speak to, 3 biggest problems: time, energy, motivation. And they're the 3 they blame it on why they haven't done anything or why they're in the position they are. But again, they can all be, it's a solution to all of them. Time, if you're waiting for the right time, I'll do it when I'm busy or stuff like that. To me, that tells me that if you don't want to do it when you're busy, that means you'll start when you're not busy. That means when you get busy again, you're going to jack it in. So I'm like, time isn't an excuse. Yeah. Like, time's not an excuse. Energy, if you're eating right, you'll have more energy anyway. Stay out of Greg's. And motivation, again, covered that earlier. If you're actually doing something, again, even walking the dog more, going out for more steps, going out at the weekend, chasing your kids around the tennis court, I don't know. It releases those feel-good hormones where you feel good about yourself. I don't know too many people who do a workout like exercise. Like, you might come out and say, oh, that was grim, but nobody comes out and says, oh, I regret that, I wish I wouldn't have done it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that. And people probably think I'm mad when I say it, but honestly, like, if you're in there doing it, you'll never regret a workout and just doing it. I always say earlier, just do it.
I'm a big believer, especially when it comes to, and it's quite sort of controversial in a way, because as we spoke about, the mental health is a big thing now, and we looked at some statistics in another video where it was saying mental health in the trades is awful, it's really bad. But on the flip side of that, there are studies that says doing something physical and productive, seeing like a wall, a house, whatever it is you've worked on or built, releases those sort of endorphins and dopamine because you've done something productive. It's like your natural way of rewarding yourself. So if you can then bring in fitness and health, surely that's got to be a good thing that's going to improve not only your physical health, obviously, but also your mental health.
Yeah, and it's leading by example as well, I think, to the people around you. Like, most tradesmen listening to this will probably have young kids at home, and what you've got to think about is if you're neglecting yourself, you probably hit home with a lot of people, but you're setting the wrong standards to your little ones looking up to you. Dad eats McDonald's every day when he comes, Dad eats McDonald's every day when he comes home from work. I'm not saying never eat McDonald's, but you kind of just remember that whatever you're doing on a day-to-day basis, you're setting an example for your colleagues, your employees, your kids. So, and
this sounds grim, but we probably all know someone in the trade who has died young, suffered with irreversible health problems because of their lifestyle. And you come speak to someone like Joe, you go on his platform, even something, it's gonna help.
And I think you've got to start realistic as well. Like, some people, this is why some people kind of get put off and think, I've tried before, I ain't trying again, I've tried before. But it's like, when they've tried before, is it realistic what they've done? Most people start a fitness journey and I've done a podcast on it the other day, cut out bread because they think it makes them fat, cut out carbs, just eat chicken and rice, or go to the gym 5 times a week. And then when they realise they can't actually stick to that, they fall off the wagon. So do something, but start small, start realistic, and like I say, small baby steps you build up over time. 1 brick at a time, and then the wall gets built. Yeah,
and listen to trusted advice as well, I'd say, is you can prove anything right or wrong anywhere because there's so much information out there. You wouldn't trust your postman to come and rewire your house, so you wouldn't trust something you've heard some random person talk about your health. You want to go to someone qualified and experienced who knows it, because that used to drive me mad. You could give someone all the information you'd want that is legitimately going to help them, but they'll be like, oh, so-and-so down the road said, if I just eat curry once a week and then coffee all day, I'm going to lose weight. And you just...
And you hear that in the trade so much. It's like, oh, my mate's doing this, so I'm just going to follow what my mate said. It's like, does your mate look in shape? Does your mate, do you know what I mean? Does your mate, is he where you want to be? Has he got a business you want to have? No, well, maybe you shouldn't ask your mate. Honestly, transparently, you can find anything on Google and YouTube, but unless it's tailored to you, unless you've got that accountability, like it's easy to just follow a plan when you're not seeing changes, or you fall off the wagon, you give up. It's where having that tailored approach to you and accountability to make sure if you do fall off the wagon, cool, get back on the wagon, do you know what I mean? Keep moving forwards. Don't try and be perfect, just be better.
Good one, I like that. So if anyone wants to reach out to you, perhaps for some coaching, how would they go about that?
Cool, so you can find me on Instagram, Joe_the Tradesman Coach. You can search the Tradesman Coach on YouTube, and new podcast has been released on Spotify, the Jack of All Gains, Master of None.
You need to do a little flex when you say that.
Jack of All Gains, Master of None. Because of course we want to be the Jack of All Gains, but the Master of None. So.
That's it. Okay, Joe, I really want to thank you for coming on and talking to our audience. As I said, this isn't something we'd usually do, but I do think it's relevant because of everything we spoke about today, how the physical health benefits can benefit everyone, and we don't want to see people getting hurt, getting injured, getting sick when you've got a family to feed. So
yeah, especially when it can be prevented as well.
Exactly.
Like I say, usually when people realise it's too late. So.
Okay. As always, please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button below, and go check out Joe's channels as well. There's going to be some good content coming on there. You can see him oiled up. That's nice. In fact, before we go, we're going to put up a little before and after transformation of how far Joe's actually come, just so you can see some proof in the pudding there, and hopefully inspire you to do some of your own. So, as always, thank you, and we'll see you next time.